special like Divinta. How is it Divinita?
Saurian once explained this to me, and I completely forgot. So I'm
Oh,
just
okay,
gonna let
good.
you take the reins on this one, I think.
Okay. There we go. Let's hop in here. Oh, we've got Zykey for the
Oh, great.
next match. I think he wants us to actually keep casting this. So if you're cool with that, Red.
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, Zykey, again, also ended in the Evil Twins 2v2 now. This should be interesting.
Oh, it's 2v2s now. Oh.
Hmm.
So will we see ranked 2v2s?
Who knows?
I was gonna say I thought you'd like I disconnected for a second. I was like, why is it quiet? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This isn't good.
No, I'm still, yeah. Sometimes when I think, I just go quiet for a second. I'm
Oh,
making
no,
some
that-
sort of
that's-
lobby music.
Guys,
hmm
look who it
Hello.
is.
Oh, who is that?
Flatfoot.
Hey, it's Flatboat. Welcome to the stream. Flatboat now is the third
Oh.
caster, apparently. Maybe we can get him in again.
I have no idea.
I know, G2 is going to go with Killerkiwi, so these teams might be quite even. I mean, G2, of all of these players, I would say is probably the weakest. Killerkiwi, possibly the strongest, although Zykey's been doing a lot of practice recently. I think they were a good match.
I was gonna say though, but Tweezy did kill Xankar, so I mean,
True.
how bad can he really be? I mean, I'm gonna defend him on this one because if he's able to kill off an Uber player, clear that means the Uber ranking doesn't mean Spaghetti and Xankar left. So I think 2v1. I think Tweezy can easily do it.
It depends. It really depends how much Zankar gets the urge to just mess around, play with his food, and then explode.
Then just explode.
Yeah, and then just delete his commander. I mean, that has been known to lose a game or two.
That's horrible. Just to throw a game like that. I mean, if you know you're winning, then just keep the cancer and the spaghetti down for like 2 more minutes, and then just let it explode when you've actually won the game, and just start throwing things around in your room. But like, to throw a game after winning it, that must be horrible. But here we go. This is a 2v2 on 3-6-3. We have a 2v2 of Zykey&Xankar versus the Donger, Killerkiwi, and the Air Conditioner, or Angel's Court to be proper. We have GTweezy23.
So, who would be your favorite for winning this between these two teams?
I'm conflicted. I'm honestly conflicted because we've seen how Xankar plays against Tweezy, and we've seen that it can be a fair fight if Xankar doesn't throw himself at the wall. But we also have Killerkiwi and Zykey to add into this little mixture. Now, we do know that Killerkiwi is a very good player, but I actually haven't seen much out of Zykey. I haven't found him on the ranks, of course, because I'm a silver, or not a silver, but a gold scrub now. But this is an interesting map. I've actually never seen something like this. So, do you think that Uber's actually going to try and start promoting some 2v2s?
It could well be the case. I mean, I'm not particularly sure why Tivanita has designed this map, although it is a lovely map, very symmetrical, and, a lot of naval play, but at the same time not too dominant, not something like Beso or Pacific. Like you say, it's very, very interesting. It could just be the initial steps to looking at a 2v2 ladder. A lot of people have asked for that type of thing.
I would really like that. I mean, it would be really nice to see something where, Uber tries to promote something like that. I mean, 1v1s, as a lot of people say, are kind of dull, which I'm not going to try and promote because I've been going through ladder and it's hell. But it
I'll
would be...
promote it to the death.
Sorry?
1v1s are the best thing in this game. I'm just going to say that right now.
Oh, we don't have...
But one thing I noticed that's very interesting, take a look at this landmass. Try and give it a good rotate so that the bottom pool of water is facing downwards on camera. And do you see what I see?
Well, I can't actually rotate the camera for some bloody reason. Oh, there, hang on. It's a
You've
face,
left
right?
on, haven't you? Yep, it looks like a big skull.
Oh, that's so...
fantastic.
Ooh, everyone just kind of tilt
So
your head a
spooky.
little sideways and then you're good.
Too spoopy.
Yeah, dude, that's
Good work,
spooky.
Tivanita, good
Dang.
work.
Now this is gonna be interesting. Killerkiwi did just notify me that this might be a new 1v1 map, which actually I'm very excited to see. This is huge. I mean, this is a very, very big map for a single player to play on. Now, am I missing something, or are we missing two? Oh, okay, there they are. Okay. We got.
We're missing 2 players.
I was like, hang on, we're missing commanders. Where are the Do you think optional spawning? So one player could spawn in one location, or another could spawn. Oh.
It's got a lot of potential. It could be extremely interesting. I mean, already I would love to play it in a 1v1.
I mean, that would be really interesting, because if you think about it, that would I mean, that promotes literally all 3 tech paths if you really think about it, because you definitely are going to need air, you're definitely going to need the bots for the harassment, and you definitely are going to need the tanks just for that legitimate like group army.
Oh yeah, and you can never count out orbital on a bigger map. I mean, you know, orbital fabricators with teleporters, SSX, anchors, it's all good.
This is really, I like this. This is a really cool map. Good on you, Tavinta. Good on you. Now, the real question is going to be the travel distance, because, I mean, clearly both players, this is shared armies, so the teleporters are going to be a thing. But just getting the vision and knowing what your opponent's going to do, because say they go mass docks, I mean, this makes them incredibly powerful. This makes any sort of mass whatever very powerful, because say I want to go mass bombers and I just build up, you know, some air to just kind of protect me from this one scout plane. They wouldn't be able to really stop you.
Well, we've got 2 very distinct 1v1 shaping up, even though it's a 2v2 game. We have this sort of close contact brawl, kind of reminiscent of 6, only smaller, where you've got this wall defending the base from the front, some mechs in the middle to fight over, well, there's some side expansions that could be taken, and obviously the main base, you know, on both sides. Whereas over here, we have the option to go naval to attack your opponent's base, or to come in through the land, take this more spread out mechs that isn't on the water.
Very interesting, very, very interesting. But the real question is, what if one player lands, say, cross spawn? So say we have, I believe we're top right now. So say we have the top right white player, this guy right here, and this guy spawns here.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the option of going naval is clearly very powerful, because, I mean, well, his base isn't exactly next to it, but that's definitely going to allow a lot of things. This is going to be an interesting match. I don't know what to really talk about. There's just stuff everywhere. I mean, all of these really important fine details.
To try this map. I had opportunity to try this map just very recently, and what I saw was that I was this player here, and I had an opponent down here, and we both opted to go naval, and we both opted for tier 2 pretty early into the game, while the only other person that was on land basically took everything over. It was a 3-player free-for-all. But
oh, goodness.
Naval, it seems like everyone that spawns next to the water does opt to go naval. No one really neglects it, which is pretty interesting, considering that, you know, the naval is very powerful, but there's not a whole lot of maneuverability.
I think it might just be because it's that subtle paranoia of, like, if I don't build it, my opponent will, and then, you know, I'm just going to get flushed out by a bunch of naval, just because, I mean, you do spawn right your base is right next to that water, and like you said, it's just that kind of, like, everyone just opts to just because they need to.
Yeah, it's very true. I mean, if a Leviathan comes up and you don't have an answer to it,
oh, goodness, yes. One Leviathan would be all that this base would need to topple.
I think that we must be looking at G2. Yeah, this is definitely his commander. And the way that I can tell is that he's opted to build a pelter to shoot at the mechs, which seems to be a strategy that he's using a lot recently. I think he's used it in the last 3 games we've watched him.
He's built at least one pelter, I think, in every single match. The pings! Yep. The pings!
So many pings. Which ones are ours? Which ones are theirs?
Yeah, I don't know, because all it just says is ping, but I don't get a color notification. I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'll just hope. See, there's another one.
The first big play of the game, yeah.
Oh, there we go. A Dogs push coming out against Grenadiers. Now, these Grenadiers do have a larger AoE, but their shots don't actually track as well as they do. These shots, though, goodness. Don't know where those were going, but these Dogs are going to get right into this base. And, you know, I think the biggest thing that I could see with these 2v2 matches would be just like in any kind of 2v2 play is once one player just numerically gets enough, there really isn't much that the other team can do. I mean, it still has that sort of snowball effect, which is quite interesting because when you're trying to do, you know, 1v1 match, especially on something as large as this, I mean, it can be really hard to stop the big, you know, army-sized pushes.
This is definitely what I more or less expected, though. I mean, obviously, no disrespect intended to Tweezy, but just talking in sheer sort of rank numbers, Tweezy would be the weakest player in this game. So I would expect him to sort of get bullied, get pushed around a bit, which is going to put a lot of pressure on Kiwi. And the question is going to be, what can Kiwi do to shore up Tweezy?
Well, I mean, I think
also, while that was going on, we missed this.
Uh-oh, what was this? Oh no, the radar!
Yep, some very small naval skirmishes going on, but exactly what we talked about before, the naval is very slow, it shapes up a lot more slowly, it's a lot more about positioning and getting ready. But interestingly enough, both players are also fighting the war on land at the same time. Neither of them have just opted for one thing.
This is turning into quite. I mean, this is definitely going to start stretching these players' limits. If one player decides not to go one, they're going to get punished for it quite heavily. Oh my! You know what? You just start casting. I'm going to just kind of play around with the camera and make funny faces at people that can't see it.
As far as things are shaping up at the minute, I think that Kiwi and Tweezy are on the back foot. Their eco is tanking, and it's mainly because that green player managed to sort of get into Tweezy's base, destroy some mechs. That puts the pressure on Kiwi further. Kiwi doing a reasonable job. I mean, when you look at the armies sort of clashing here, I would say that numerically he's outnumbered. It's not really something that he can afford to push. He needs to pull back, actually build up some defenses, maybe take and hold this 4 mechs, take and hold this 3 mechs.
Teleporter though
going sort of a commander push.
Interesting. Maybe he's really concerned about losing the naval fight. Actually, yeah, he's building walls, so he's really concerned about. So maybe he's going to try and just close off the naval and then force a heavy land fight. So that it just kind of forces them to go on to one setting. So definitely seeing the pressure coming out of Kiwi. Now it looks like there is a teleporter up in GTweezy's base. The real question is, will he be able to get the commander out in time? I would assume he will, but these are a lot of docks, and if they do see the teleport, they know that they can just start pushing and clean out the space very quickly.
Yeah, I would say that G2 at this point has more or less lost all of his footing. He can hold on for, however long that he wants, but at the same time, it's like the last gasps of dying man. And we see Kiwi responding to it really, really well. Kiwi almost desperately sort of claiming mechs. He's building air fabas to take these risky metal spots with scouting. Which is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to make up the metal loss that G2 has
he needs to turn into a man and just build all that metal. Which, hey, that's fantastic.
It's build it all.
I mean, well, in terms of metal expansion, I mean, if we just kind of look around here, it is quite fair. There isn't really any in the middle metal except for, I would want to say, like, right here. But everywhere else, it just seems to be kind of on each player's side. Commander under attack, though. Kiwi does need to be careful. These torpedoes do still hit pretty far away. Excuse me.
Pretty interesting choice, actually. He sent his commander forward to build some walls for defense, but I don't think he ever put down a torpedo launcher. He never tried to build one, which would have been a powerful defense.
Yeah, actually, I do agree with you. We never did see that. Now, the real question is, what happens when these walls get built deep in the water? Because I mean, as we know, they just kind of build at the top. Will we actually see any floating ballasts? Because everything else that usually is on water does have some form of a ballast, something to keep it quote unquote afloat, even when it's a complete pelter or something really big. So I would like to see something. I mean, these walls look really cool, but I mean they are in the water, so it's kind of interesting to see that. And of course, torpedoes going through solid walls are kind of questionable at best.
This is the way that it's worked in the past on maps like Pacific, is torpedoes could shoot under walls, but something that actually fired over the water like an orca cannon couldn't go over it. But obviously, like you say, this water is much shallower. If you look very closely at the model, you can see that it's actually stretching down at the seabed. So really, those torpedo launchers shooting straight through solid walls and rock and whatever else is a little bit questionable, like you say.
Some docks, though, in the back of Kiwi's base. Oh, a little bit of lag here. Actually, quite a bit of lag. Are you getting this?
Nope. Everything's fine on this end. Oh wait, no, actually, yeah.
Okay. Hang on, let me pull up the. I don't know if Sorian's in here, but I know he likes to look at all the numbers and such while we're playing, so we'll leave that. Oh no, the server's got 10 frames per second, so we're still good. Whoops, didn't want to keep that up. There we go. All right, so some docks getting in the back of Kiwi's base, taking out I think 4 or 5 metal extractors. So a really good little pick off here by the Green Army, but it didn't really do much. I thought we'd maybe see their economy drop a little bit while they tried to rebuild that metal, but it was just enough that it did do some damage, but it wasn't enough to really take care of it. Now, if we look over at the remains of Tweezy's base, he does have a lot of mines, so he's definitely building this as more of like a what's the not a blister, but when you catch a scab, there we go. It's a lot harder to get into. It's a lot more defensive, but there really isn't much that he's still building in his base. He's definitely trying to just kind of build this so it's more of a pain in the butt for them to get. Which, I mean, it's definitely a good idea for them to do, but at the same time, I think they really do need to just try and consolidate some of their forces, just try and kind of push them out and decide what they want to do. Obviously, we can't see the two teams chatting, but obviously, as I always say, when we are when I'm playing the 5v5s, communication is absolutely crucial. And if you're playing with 2 people, and I don't know how well GT and Killerkiwi really know each other, but communication is absolutely crucial. Now, I know Zykey&Xankar, I mean, they both sound the exact same, so I'd assume they've probably talked to each other at least once or twice. They probably have a little bit more fluidity, and as we can see, the GGs are coming out. The lag even starting to kick up a little bit here. And it looks like Team White will just concede.
Yeah, this was my very next comment. You could see zooming out of the map, the naval force had built to critical mass, while the land force was also pushing in on the Killerkiwi. Killerkiwi pretty much all that's keeping things afloat at this point, while G2 just tries to make himself as annoying as possible to the Green Army to slow them down. It's more or less the case. But at the same time, the Green Army had been stickily working on this orbital, which is another angle of attack that Kiwi would have to worry about.
Right. And surprisingly enough, they still haven't dipped below their economy, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Staying true gentlemen to the end. But they are starting to clean up. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that even though Killer has called the GGs, he hasn't actually deleted his commander, which, in Exodus, that would be illegal. If you call GG, you must delete your commander.
Really? Of course, I mean, since we are professionals and we do read the rules, and of course I had spent many hours reading that. The more you know, guys, of course, so if you do delete your commander, or if you do say call GG, you must delete your commander. You can't stay till the bitter end and possibly pull a win out of your bum. But yeah, I do agree. I think GG is the best option at this point. There really isn't much that, in terms of metal by themselves, I mean, just looking at the economy, we have 222 metal versus 341, and while the green team might be, keeping at efficiency about 70 to 80% efficiency, they just do have more metal coming to their commanders at the time.
Yeah. Kiwi now experiencing a problem that I had. I'm not sure if it was just PTA specific or not, but once the mechs had been destroyed and was decayed on a spot, it did take quite some time before I was able to build it back up.
Maybe it's just because Uber Plus.
Uber, please comment.
Okay, I mean, okay.
Either which way,
serious lag, goodness.
Like you were talking about earlier in the game, when both teams had more or less similar eco, it comes back to what I was thinking before when we did play, which is that once one side sort of gets a numerical advantage in terms of numbers, I'm not sure if it's the PT specifically that's doing this, but it seems to be very, very difficult to stage a comeback. We're using static defenses or like artillery or just anything that you would use to stave them off and build up your own forces for a push. It seems to be a lot harder to do, mainly because the eco is much more important than it was in a way.
Greatly so.
You can't rely on the commander so much.
Commanders, though, just saying hi to each other. Maybe we'll actually get a point where the connection will come back up, but Sim's fine. So yeah, it's just my horrible college internet. This sucks. I want to see these commanders brawl, but I can't watch it because horrible college interwebs. Oh my goodness.
Well, at the minute, we just missed something absolutely astounding. The green commander, I'll check it on the chronocam actually, because the viewers are going to want to see this, I guarantee you. This is perhaps one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in a comboxing match.
Flame tanks fighting. I mean, we sort of saw it, but the lags is just murdering. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, what? GG out of... What? What? What happened?
Good lord.
The lags. Oh my goodness. It's over and I didn't even get to see the ending. This is... No, we're gonna go back. We're going back. We gotta go back, Marty. We gotta go back. No, we have to go back. I want to see this ending without this horrid lag. Let me go back.
Alright, so... Try and hit up 1520 and take a look at two commanders comboxing, and you will see something,
17,
zoom in very,
18,
very close.
19, 20. Alright.
Yep, 15 minutes, 20 seconds.
I'm right on it.
Yep. And then play that, and keep an eye on this green commander.
Alright. Watching him, he's shooting. Whoa! Whoa! Uber shot, where are you going?
And he does it again.
And he gets the flame tank. Beautiful.
How on earth did that happen?
Uber, please.
Amazing.
What? Oh my goodness. That Uber shot just wanted to be seen. It had aspirations, man.
It's just sort of the final victory fireworks, you know? Pew!
Holy cow, that was beautiful. I mean, I remember it back in like Gamma and Beta when they used to do that, just because I think the targeting was a little spaghetti, but I haven't seen that in a really long time. Holy cow.
That was fantastic. I wish that would be a feature. That was the perfect cap to the game.
That would make me so paranoid. Like, you've got like 500 boombots like scurrying towards you, and you fire your Uber, and it just starts flailing around like mid-shot, and you're like, please land!
So Kiwi seeing the swag Uber shots just immediately GG's and deletes his commander and knows he can't face up to that.
You can't handle these shots, man. Oh my goodness, that went everywhere. Goodness gracious.
So that was a good game. It went more or less the way I think we both would have expected. Unfortunately, I just don't think that G2 could really shore up well against the likes of Zykey&Xankar. This is sort of 3 Uber players we're talking about.
Which, I mean,
capable.
I think that's just a matter of time and just kind of getting the practice in, which, like you said, I mean, it's definitely capable, and it's just kind of getting the hang of it all.
Yeah. I also think this might have been the first time that he's ever seen this map.
That is true. This is actually the first time I have as well, and it was, I mean, as you saw me just kind of gaping and just going, oh, ooh, wow, oh, there's colors, it's pretty. I mean, overall, I think this is definitely a very fair and balanced map. I mean, it's definitely, once you get onto your opponent's side, and as long as you can stay on your opponent's side, especially in terms of units and travel time, you can definitely focus and just kind of really pressure your opponent, because there really isn't much in between metal spots. I mean, a lot of it really is on one or the other side.
So I think it was very interesting the way that it was set up. It looked more or less like two very distinct 1v1s occurring, where either player could aid the other via a teleporter or whatever else, you know,
Definitely.
eco. But it was a fantastic map. I really like the design. I love the skull face in particular. I think this is a central feature, you know, never mind the mechs on it or anything.
Very, very crucial. Yes, you got to have that skull. So maybe I
yeah, that's what intimidates the opponent.
get the skull face, win the match with the skull.
Yeah, I would only suggest that perhaps maybe we replace the eyes with lava. Terminator, please. I'm trying
to turn the camera so that it looks, so I can get that skull look, but this is so complex. These cameras, too good 5
It's good practice. It's good.
Oh my goodness, it's so hard. Nope, we're on the North Pole.
Lock doing this?
Sorry?
Is it the pool lock doing this?
Yeah, pole lock effectively. When you're moving around, it's...
Alright, well,
either way.
As fun as that is, let's get into the next game.
Oh, there's another. Oh, perfect.
That has it up. Yep.
Okay.